Hi gardeners, welcome back to the channel, and in today's rainy episode, we'll be going through some TikTok gardening hacks to see if they are true or if they are false. There is hundreds, maybe even thousands of videos out on the internet on gardening hacks. However, something that we've realized over the years is that some of them are containing misinformation and some of them do contain real information that are very useful for the average home gardener. And so in today's video, we'll be directly towards the platform TikTok and see if some of the TikTok videos that are there are true and they give you the proper information towards these hacks, or some of them are completely false and just a complete waste of your time. So let's go ahead and go through and check out some of these videos.
Get way more strawberries with this one simple tip. I'm growing Fresca strawberries this season and they're putting out lots of beautiful flowers. But as the flowers get pollinated and begin to grow into strawberries, they get heavy and fall down onto the soil. And the moment they begin to turn red, they become a delicious dessert for all the microorganisms living in the soil.
But here's how to fix it.
Grab some chicken wire and cut it into small strips, and then bend the sides to create a little table. Then as you notice strawberries that are beginning to grow, simply pop the chicken wire table underneath them. Not only will this lift them a few inches off the ground, but many microorganisms stay away from metals like steel and copper, which will result in your strawberries no longer getting munched on before you get to them.
Okay, so that was a video of a strawberry hack from the TikTok account Mind and Soil. So I have seen some content from Mind and Soil, and this is a perfect gardening hack. These are yet simple and affordable to make sure that you have the proper strawberry harvest. Because something a lot of gardeners have an issue with is the fact that whenever the strawberries are ready and they're red, the pest or any type of animal that may be wandering around in the soil will have a feast on your strawberries, especially since they're touching the soil and the ground surface and there's nothing elevating them. And so by getting this simple hack of the chicken wire and making like a small little table for them is perfect and ideal for any at-home gardener who wants to secure their delicious harvest. So this one is definitely a perfect hack for the average home gardener. Moving on to the next hack, let's go ahead and see what they have for us. Wow, so that TikTok video did not have any information behind it. However, the purpose, I'm guessing from the video we saw, is that they use an ice cream cone as a biodegradable seed starting pot, I believe, and seems to be they start a rose plant from that. Well, there is two issues that I noticed in this video. So the ice cream cone is probably a good substitute if you want a biodegradable, affordable seed starting pot. However, there is other options like peat pots that they create that are biodegradable, or just either direct sowing or using reusable seed starting pots. So that's one. Two, about halfway of the video, they switched out the seedling, which was a brassica or radish seedling, with a fake piece of plant. That is not only misinformation right there, but that just makes a lot of beginner gardeners confused and somewhat make the content believable. However, if we compare both the seedling to the plant that's being grown or transplanted in, they don't have the same structure whatsoever. One looks real and the other one looks fake, especially since the seedling of a rose does not look like that, and let alone it being one stem and not bushing out completely. So I would have to say this is false because one, you can use the ice cream cone as a biodegradable seed starting pot. However, the way how they interpreted the seedling is not the ideal way to do it, especially since they get three different concepts or three different plants, and at the end of the day, for it to not even show a real thing. And so this one I would have to call misinformation. Just probably what I would recommend is use reusable seed starting pots, or use any type of other biodegradable seed starting pot. I would go ahead and use the reusable ones because it is a good investment of money, and so you're able to reuse them without having to spend your money on ice cream cones that does not even have an effect towards it. So moving on to the next TikTok hack, let's go ahead and see what they have.
I wish I knew about this cheap gardening hack when I first got started. It would have saved me a lot of time and money. If you're not using these mesh drawstring bags, you're really missing out. I use them for two purposes. One, they protect my vegetables from the pests or the birds getting them. Secondly, if your plants are going to seed, like this coriander plant right here, I just put the mesh bags over the flowers, let them dry out, and then I can collect the seeds that way. I also keep reusing these mesh bags, so I never throw them out, and they cost me like less than $10 on Amazon. Follow for more tips.
So I love this TikTok gardening hack because I used to do it myself. If you're gardening at a smaller scale and you want to protect your veggies and your fruits from any type of pests or rodents out there, this is the most ideal and affordable way to do it. Now, if you're doing it at a larger scale, what I would do is get voil or a mesh covering over your entire crops. But if you're a at-home gardener and you dedicate to a small space in your garden, this is the perfect way to go. Coming up next,
here's the best hack for keeping your strawberries pest-free. Plant onion bulbs right in between all your strawberry plants. Check out these strawberry leaves. They are completely pest-free. They are looking so healthy. This is 2 months after planting and we are in high pest season. So the onions don't do any sort of magic. They just put off a scent that repels the pests that are most drawn to strawberries. So 2 months after planting, we have these really healthy plants and we get onions too.
so this is another great ideal hack for any at-home gardener who doesn't like to do any type of sprays or pesticides. This is something I do as well, especially in the use of marigolds, garlics, or onions, because they naturally have that scent that they push off any pest or disease. And that's something that I found amazing because you can grow these with each other and they won't fight for any nutrients, water, or any type of sunlight. This is the perfect way to naturally repel pests and diseases in your garden. Not only is this directed towards strawberries and onions, but you could do this with marigolds and tomatoes or onion, garlic, and tomatoes. You can mash up the different varieties or species you're growing in the same area. So this is the perfect way to naturally repel pests and diseases from your garden. So this gets a thumbs up. Moving on to the next hack.
Remember how it all began. Remember all the hours we have spent dreaming about the clouds, drawing future without.
So this gardening hack has been circulating the internet like crazy. So there is a pro and a con that follows this hack. The pros is that you can develop flowers and carrot seeds from that carrot top, and it will regenerate because it will root, etc. However, the con is that you won't regenerate another carrot. That is something a lot of gardeners may be confused on because they might think another carrot might be developed, etc. No, that won't happen. The only thing that may happen is the fact that it might produce greens or carrot tops, which are also edible and great for soups, etc. Or some gardeners may just plant them out for them to grow to flower and produce seeds to actually grow actual carrots. So that's the only way to actually reuse your grocery store bought carrots. That's the best way to do it if you don't want to throw away the carrot tops, but don't expect another carrot to be developed or regenerated from that carrot top. So I will give it a thumbs up for the seeds purpose. However, don't expect another carrot to regenerate from the carrot top. Let's go ahead and move on to our last and final TikTok gardening hack.
If you're sick of growing small bell peppers and want bigger ones instead, this video is for you. So if you leave your bell pepper plants to do whatever they want, they'll typically try to produce more peppers than they can, and so the average size of the fruits goes down. So when your peppers are maybe this size, about an inch tall, or maybe even a bit smaller, you can go through the plant, try to identify which pods look the healthiest, and remove all but maybe 6 to 10. In other words, you'll leave 6 to 10 peppers to produce at any given time on your plants, and that way all of the energy your plants have will be directed towards that small number of fruits. And it's really that simple. The result is bigger fruits. As you harvest them, new flowers will appear, and you can continue to leave that set number of fruits on your plant.
So this is another perfect gardening hack. This is something I do with my fruit trees because it's a concept that can be done in fruit trees and is recommended as well. So what this does is that this improves the overall taste, quality, and production of your plant. because your plant could be producing so much flowers, and if all of that flowers in one certain branch gets pollinated, then each and every single one of those flowers will become a fruit. However, to make sure that the plant structure is healthy and it's not top heavy, and to overall get better tasting fruit and better size fruit or produce, is to go ahead and go through and thin out some fruit. I would always recommend either 2/3 to a third of the fruit that's on the branch to remove. Usually what you do is you stay or you keep the healthier looking produce or fruit, because those will become more juicy, more better tasting, and more bigger produce. Because the issue that a lot of gardeners are having is that they'll plant their plant, leave it alone, and then they will be very small bell peppers, small tomatoes, small peaches, doesn't matter what it is, they'll come out at a smaller form. However, if you want to get bigger fruit, definitely this is the tip I will follow, because it's the easiest, is the most recommended, and you'll have the best yield from your plants. So although it may hurt in the beginning to remove all of that produce, it's worth it at the end of the day. So those are the TikTok videos I covered in today's video, and I am thrilled and happy to see the amount of videos that circulate the internet that are actually truthful. And all these accounts of gardeners who like to educate others the best possible way, the most affordable way, the most easiest way, is just the best way to go ahead and help other gardeners succeed in their gardens. So I would definitely recommend to go through and follow all of these gardeners who gave truthful content. However, I would stay away from any other content that is done that obviously isn't true. For example, like that ice cream cone video we saw, or as well as the carrot tops, or anything that leads you to misinformation. I would definitely stay away from that and only go for truthful content creators that dedicate into producing educational videos that thrives in truthful information. So thank you all so much for watching this video. May God bless you and your entire family, and never forget to grow big, ultimate gardeners. Bye everyone.